All right, welcome. Today we are going to check out the Noise Engineering Sinc Bucina and the Rabid Elephant Natural Gate. I've had both of these modules for a little while, and I'm kind of in the position now that a lot of things don't really matter to me, like the HP size or the rarity or scarcity of, for example, the natural gate or the cost. And right now, all I'm thinking about is which is going to be better for my sound. So don't take this as a you should get one or the other, or even this demo proves to me that I need this one or the other one. All right, so this is all um, through my lens and specific use case. I have recently downsized from the Dofer Monster setup, which was 6 rows of 168, which is absolutely massive. I have downsized to the IntelliGel 7U104 case. And do not despair, because I have actually really enjoyed this process over these last few weeks. It's kind of taken me back to when I was first starting Eat Sleep Techno Repeat and really getting into Eurorack and trying new modules and just like buying a module and then trying it out and A-Bing it and selling a module and just doing that over and over. That was a lot of fun, and I'm kind of starting to get back into that headspace. And the thing that's really interesting is that I'm really focusing in on my sound. Whereas with the huge setup, it was like there was an answer or the capability to do or an ability to do anything I wanted or anything I needed to do, right? Um, and so what I noticed is that the bigger my setup got, the less focused I became, and my sound kind of started to diverge a little bit. And more importantly, and most importantly, is the jams and videos and just making music and sharing that just kind of started to happen less. In fact, I remember being in the 90s, the 90th episode ish, somewhere in there with Eat Sleep Techno Repeat in January of like a year or two ago. and and all the like the 90 episodes happened in a shorter time than I took going with that. You see what I'm saying? So the point is that I've enjoyed this process. And so the other thing I want to say is like I've tried to avoid this with the channel. I've really tried to avoid doing like any kind of synth reviews, um, even stuff that got sponsored. Like I didn't talk about it. WMD sent the Kraken over, and I didn't talk about it. I just made music with it and put it out there. And that's kind of like what's been going on with the channel. Um, the thing is, though, is I know my viewership and the size of the channel and the growth of the channel has been stunted because of that. Because, I mean, people want to see and hear specific things and hear them A-B'd or recommendations on the newest, hottest thing or whatever, blah, 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 blah. And, there's a lot more searches going on for that than for modular techno. All right. So what I'm saying is, is that neither of these modules were sponsored, and specifically for my use case and this video, it's all through the lens of trying to figure out what's going to sound the best. And it's actually cool because I don't really care what HP size they are. It's all about the sound, because natural gate's in there right now and it fits fine. I could put the Sinc Bucina in there and then use the 8 HP for something else or whatever. So right now this video is all about the sound. And I want to do the LXD. I want to check that out. I just got that to AB against the Sinc Bucina specifically, but I'm short on high voltage sources. I think it takes 8, and everything I have is like 5. So I need an adder or like a lapsus os or something to do that. But that's beside the point. So that's another video. Okay. So just to tell you about the setup, I'm running the Verbos complex oscillator. I'm going to play the raw sound straight to the WMD mixer, and then we're going to go Sinc Bucina is on channel 3 of the WMD mixer on the left side, and then natural gates on channel 4 of the WMD mixer. So Sinc is on 3, natural gate on 4, and you're gonna have to watch me flip between the two, but you'll be able to tell the difference when you hear them playing. A couple of things I've noticed is the natural gate. It does sound very natural. It lets the whole sound kind of through, and there's a lot. It lets the low end through. Whereas the Sinc Bucina, it feels like the low end gets cut a little bit, and you get more saturation and harmonics. So both individually, they sound great. What's most important though is how they sound in context. So I'm gonna play the two of them with the beat going as well. All right. So without further ado, let's get to it. The Steppy 1U up top is just sending each of those a ping on their hits. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. And I'll run it without anything, without effects, and then we'll add effects and then do it in context as well. I just want to say that the Sinc Bucina, in my opinion, is one of the most underrated low-pass gates out there. It's a performative low-pass gate. There's not CV control over everything, whereas the natural gate has 2 CV controls in addition to the hit. Where I think you can control the decay, but I don't ever use it because everything I do in the techno context is manual, right? So check out this demo and don't base all of if you're going to go out and get one of these, don't base your choice just on this video. Really you should try something out in person if possible, or at least put it in your case and then try it. And that's where you really make it a good decision, a well-informed decision, as opposed to just watching videos. All right. So with that being said, I kind of give you a rundown of what's going on. Let's go ahead and get to it. All right, here we go. So first, let's hear the raw sound of the oscillator. Lovely sound. Okay, and let's get that patched back to where it needs to go. I forgot where it needs to go already. Oh, this one goes to the natural gate. All right, cool, we're good. All right, here we go. Let's do Sinc Bucina first. Okay, as mentioned before, the natural gate seems to let in a little more low end, so you get a full range sound. And the Sinc Bucina, this is set to the 12 dB, so this is supposed to be the more mild setting. It's a little more, I guess not really overdriven, but there's a little more saturation, it sounds like, and that is not because of this VCA hitting the red. Actually, these you have to push really hard before they clip and really add to the sound. You know what though? I'm gonna go ahead because I know people are gonna be like, oh well, but the VCA was clipping, so that's where you get your harmonics. Let me go ahead and turn it down real quick and let's run that again. So, but the reason was I turned this one up is I was trying to match the volume of the natural gate, and that's where it happened to be. So I just noticed that it was clipping in the red, but whatever. All right, so I'm gonna turn it down. Let's run that again, and I'll try and match the natural gate down. Okay, so as mentioned before, this is on the mellow setting, and then the natural gate is actually on the highest, the most peaky setting, I guess you could say, the sharpest envelope curve. Um, and so here's something interesting about the natural gate, and this was pointed out to me by Robot Dog. Shout outs to Robot Dog Music. He got a natural gate as well, and he said, you know what? It adds this audible click, and even with nothing patched. So let's check that out real quick. Okay, so that's something it's adding to the sound. I guess that gives it that extra punch on the beginning. I'm gonna go ahead and play with some of these settings on the natural gate, and then try and flip back over to Sinc Bucina and try and match the sounds as much as possible. Uh, yeah, and we'll just start with that. All right, so as you can hear, the natural gate has a longer decay time at full open on the release, the decay, and then on the Sinc Bucina on full release, it's shorter than the longest on natural gate. So they both still sound great though. So I'm gonna go ahead and flip the Sinc Bucina up to the 6 dB. This is the most I guess aggressive setting, and then I'm also gonna try and hit the ping as well, just so you can hear some of the differences in that sound. All right. Okay, to try and match this saturation, I'm going to go ahead and overdrive this VCA and try and get a little bit of saturation out of it. So I'm going to have to turn this fader down a little bit, but I'm going to turn the gain up, see if we can do that. So that's what I'm going to try out with the natural gate. All right, so as you could tell, it's I got the I got this VCA fully cranked, and it's not giving the same saturation, which is okay. So noise engineering stuff is typically much more aggressive sounding than a lot of things, um, and the natural gate is, what can I say? It's very natural sounding. All right, so now that we've kind of heard these two, oh, I need to check out the ping. Let's do that real quick, and then I'm gonna start adding effects, and then we're gonna throw both in context and see, which one sounds better. All right, yeah, I don't know. Let's see. Here we go. Okay, cool. So, yeah, we went ahead and multed that gate to the ping. Just one or the other, it doesn't make a difference. But I believe the ping, one of these can take like a higher signal, and depending on how high that signal is, it's more dynamic in its response. I always forget. I had to look in the manual, but you can use the two in conjunction. Ornament Crime, the TV3PO, I believe it sends out a varied. Gate amplitude, so that gives you some dynamics with this, so that's super interesting. And then with the control on this, I believe you can do the same thing. Yeah. All right, so let's check them out in context, with effects and then context. All right, let's do Sinc Bucina first. Okay, and this is getting auxed out to the Chaos Devices Sarajevo. Incredible analog BBD delay, probably the best, my favorite delay that I've ever used. So, yeah. So just so you know, and then the return is getting auxed out to the. This is Des Modus Versio. It's inventory right here, but it's actually Des Modus. And I think I hope I didn't just mess it up with the tap, but this is the reverb. So you'll hear that in just a second. All right, here we go. So hopefully that kind of gives you an insight on into the two modules. I'm super interested to hear what the LXD is going to sound like. Like I said, I'm short on higher voltage sources, but Vactrols is something that these other two are also trying to emulate. So that being said, Sinc Bucina, let's see, Sinc Bucina or Natural Gate, which one do you prefer? My overall observation is that, hmm, it's funny because I think I like the sound of the Natural Gate better, just because of the amount of sound, the full range. Like it sounds very natural. Um, However, I think the Sinc Bucina has more range. Uh, and so as things get more aggressive and it opens up more, to me it sounds like the sound, um, with the saturation and everything, it gets a little more fuzzy and, mm, that's a tough one. Between these two, I don't know. I don't have a verdict. So what do you guys think? I have some friends that said they like the Sinc Bucina better. They say it sounds more techno. And then, of course, Natural Gate has a good following as well. Yeah, I really don't know what to say. I like them both. I don't think either one is going to go anywhere. I will probably end up switching them out in the case, depending on other stuff that may or may not need to fit in the case. Oh, and the last thing I will say is that this is specifically with the Verbos complex oscillator as well. So they're going to sound a certain way with this as opposed to, say, the Piston Honda, which is something else I would like to check out as well. But yeah, given what you hear, let me know in the comments which one did you prefer, in context and also on its own. So hopefully this video helps you out in some way. If you have anything else you want to heard be compared, then let me know. All right, thanks, and we'll see you next time. Happy jamming.